Hi there, I'm nicodehaan, and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced and natural and wild world.
To recover our natural health, regain our rights and freedoms. I'm Ellen DeHaan.
It's a beautiful day in Durango, Colorado. Right now it's really cold out, about 15 degrees.
Feels like 9.
Feels like 9. Yeah, I went out for a walk and it was kind of chilly out there, but sun is still shining, so we're waiting for the snow.
Yeah, the snow's supposed to come in tomorrow night.
Yeah, so
We'll see.
hopefully everybody else seems to be getting it, and especially in the East. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the like button, hit the follow button. We post on YouTube and Odysee, and we also put these links on Facebook and LinkedIn for your convenience. If you hit the link below the show notes, you'll get information from Mother Earth Labs. These are some products that we use for maximizing our nutrition.
Supplements.
Yeah. And if you have any questions or comments, you can reach me at nicodehaan@me.com, or just make a comment below in the show notes. Any of those, even on Facebook and stuff. So you can do that. Let's see, I've got all, yeah, okay. I've clicked them all, I think. So today we're going to be talking about life extension and life expectancy, and some supplements that enhance
longevity
and your health,
and boosting the immune system and helping to fight inflammation.
Yeah, so we'll start with the first article, which is what's the maximum human life expectancy?
Yeah, this was interesting because over the years it had always been just increasing.
Yeah. Yeah, aging is one of the few things that every living thing has in common. Humans, in particular, are living longer today than they did in the past. Much of this is due to societal advances, such as vaccines, antibiotics, public health infrastructure, sanitation, hygiene, early diagnosis, and increased public awareness about health and longevity.
Yeah, 5 years after the beginning of the pandemic, the average life expectancies in the U.S. have decreased. For Indigenous Americans and Alaska Natives, life expectancy decreased by 6.6 years to 65.2, according to the 2023 analysis of provisional data from the National Center for Health Statistics. Life expectancy decreased by about 4 years for Black and Hispanic Americans to 70.8 and 77.7, respectively. Asian and white Americans saw a drop of roughly 2 years to 83.5 and 76.4.
Yeah, research maintains that the natural limit for human lifespan is about 122 years, based on the fact that the longest living person died at 122. And that was in 1997, and no one has been known to live longer except in stories of the Bible and things like that. Truthfully, nobody really knows. I think it could be longer, probably, maybe 150 years. But when your time's up, I guess it's up, right?
Yeah, well, all things considered, and all the abuses to which our bodies are subjected on a daily basis.
Yep.
Okay, it says people get exposed to things that accumulate in the body. Accumulation of those things makes it so at some point the body's just not resilient enough to function, said one of the researchers. Even if you imagine the person where they just live in a room, they're locked there, they never get any environmental exposures, they'll still die just through biological processes.
Yeah, but for the rest of us who likely won't spend their lives in a literal bubble, will be exposed to things that alter how well our bodies age, like radiation from the sun, air pollution, and simply because we're out and about and living life.
Right. When we lived in Florida, people were always talking about being careful about going out in the sun too long, especially at midday. But then there were, if you're working in an office all day, you go out at lunchtime. And that's the most intense time for the sun.
Yeah, I think in ancient times, we were out in the sun a lot more.
Yeah, well, the sun was different, and the atmosphere was different, and the protection.
Yeah, I was talking to the guys at jiu-jitsu about that back when I was a kid, back in the 60s, when I was a teenager, and in the 70s even, the sun was white. And now the sun is much more yellow.
Yeah.
Or is it the reverse?
Uh,
I think it was yellow.
Yellow and then, yeah, it was
now it's
yellow.
white. Yeah,
Mhm.
and
Now
now
it's
it's much more white. Yeah.
Mhm.
So the sun has changed, and we've talked about that on other shows about the disaster cycle and stuff like that with Ben Davidson.
All right,
Someone's
so it says that, a lot of what ages people, it's talking about aging here. A lot of what ages people are the circumstances they were born into due to socioeconomic and systemic factors like poverty and racism, which are increasingly difficult to escape.
Yeah, someone's location, for example, can define their outcomes and risk of chronic conditions. In the US, two people living just several miles apart could have dramatically different health outcomes, and their bodies can age at dramatically different rates due to stress, access to healthcare or nutrition. And I would say, adding to that, the conditions of like along the Mississippi River, where
Right.
there's a lot of manufacturing going on.
The level of pollution in
yeah.
their atmosphere,
Yeah.
in their immediate environment.
Yep.
When you think about life expectancy, says the researcher, what has really happened in the last 100 years, certainly in developed countries like the US and increasingly across the world, is we've added a phenomenal amount of time to human life expectancy. But those additional years have absolutely nothing to do with making our bodies intrinsically age more slowly.
Yeah, instead, the problem of aging has been shifted down the road. Alzheimer's disease has increased, as have other age-related chronic conditions due to people living longer. I don't know. Doesn't
Well,
really
I'm
make a lot
not
of
sure.
sense to me.
Well, at this point, we know that it's not just the fact that they're living longer. It's a whole lot of other factors and we're going to get into a lot of those
I think so.
as we go.
Yeah, now many of us are living to our 70s. We're experiencing this buildup of built-in obsolescence of humans that manifests itself in age-related chronic conditions.
Yeah, even still, the best BALMS, BALMS, against aging poorly are the things our mothers and grandmothers told us to do. Exercise regularly, avoid smoking, avoid drinking too much alcohol, and stay away from highly processed foods to focus on a balanced diet of healthy whole foods.
I would say go outside a lot.
Yeah, get fresh air, get some natural light. Yeah. All right. So let's go to the next article.
Next article is about the essential vitamins, minerals. Actually, this is about the amino acids.
Yeah, and we've talked about this in the past, but this is a nice summary of the information. It says amino acids are referred to as the building blocks of proteins, and they're compounds that play many critical roles in your body.
Yeah, you need them for vital processes such as building proteins, hormones, and neurotransmitters.
Amino acids are concentrated in protein-rich foods such as meat, fish, and soybeans.
Some people also take amino acids in supplement form as a natural way to boost their athletic performance or improve the mood. We take a product from Body Health Labs in Florida called Perfect Aminos, and we've been taking that probably
years.
Maybe 12 years, 15 years, something like that, maybe longer. And what we want to maintain in this thing is really that if your body doesn't have all the amino acids, your body really can't make the repairs in your body. So we have 9 essential amino acids, and there's over, I think, 20 altogether. But the essential ones are important because if one of those essentials is missing, the body will throw out the whole thing.
The whole package.
Yeah. So,
all right. Well, let's. This next section has a nice explanation of that.
Go for it, baby.
Amino acids are organic compounds composed mainly of nitrogen, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. And your body needs 20 different amino acids to grow and function properly. While all 20 of these are important for your health, only 9 are classified as essential.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll read these.
Okay.
Histidine, isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, tryptophan, and valine.
Yeah, although your body can make non-essential amino acids, it cannot make the essential ones.
Cannot make the essential ones.
That's right.
That's important.
So you have to get them from your diet. And the best sources of essential amino acids are animal proteins, such as meat, eggs, and poultry. However, some plant foods, such as
Soy products.
soy products, can contain all 9. A lot of these things, like the soys, particularly, is that the Asian people have found out many years ago that yes, they're in there, but they're not bioavailable unless you ferment them.
Well, you have to do something to process them sufficiently for
Yeah.
your body to get access.
And what the Japanese, and I think the Chinese too, did, they put them in a salt brine, and they put them and they put them in the water, salt water brine, for like 7 years or more
Mhm.
to get that process. So when they ate this, that you're getting all those amino acids. So that's how important it was for them. So they figured it out somehow that they weren't getting it, because in China and in Japan, a lot of the animals, the large animals, were gone.
Well, and also, you know, Thailand and
Yeah.
the Philippines, all of Asia,
Yeah. So
Southeast
when the
Asia.
population grew, they needed to find another source besides the meat.
Mhm.
And they discovered that soybeans were one of those things.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things like that, like rice and beans. The Mexican people,
Combinations, yeah.
had use those a lot.
Mhm.
And the reason that they use those is because if they soak the beans for a long time, they could get all that stuff
All
out,
the anything toxic.
toxic out,
Mhm.
and then they could combine it with a starchy product that would create those amino acids. So
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Mhm. Well, and we don't eat soy here because so much of it is genetically modified.
Yeah.
And so that's an issue. That's a challenge.
And that's a lot of the problems with most of plant food these days. They're not the same plant
Well,
foods.
they've all been genetically modified, make
Yeah.
bigger, juicier tomatoes, and
Yeah, I mean, an apple 150 years ago was a little
the
crab
size of a
apple.
crab.
Yeah.
Right. Mhm.
So,
Mhm. Okay, so they talk about the next part of the article talks about conditionally essential amino acids.
yeah, several non-essential amino acids are classified as conditionally essential, and these are essentially only under specific circumstances, such as during illnesses. Whoops, what happened?
I don't know. You pressed the button that you shouldn't have pressed.
I guess so. There we go.
Huh? Whoa.
Oh, find it again.
All right, I'll keep going here.
Yes.
That would be illness, pregnancy, infancy, or trauma. For example, arginine is considered non-essential, but your body cannot make as much as you need when you're healing from a serious injury or fighting certain diseases such as cancer. Additionally, certain amino acids, including glycine and arginine, are considered conditionally essential during pregnancy because a pregnant person needs more of these amino acids to support their own health and the health of the fetus.
Yeah.
The 9 essential amino acids. So they're listed here and they're explained. It's all explained, and you can take a look at the article and
Yeah. We don't have to go through
get a
each one of them.
better picture of that.
And then it says,
So
while essential amino acids can be found in a wide array of foods, taking concentrated doses in a supplement form has been linked to several health benefits, and that's why we started taking it. I think I basically started doing that when I started jiu-jitsu. And I
Mhm.
wanted to make sure that I had everything I needed to
Mm.
get through the trauma of being pushed
Okay.
around.
Okay, and so the kind of the categories that they talk about here is that they may help with your mood. You know, tryptophan is one of the essential amino acids, and that's what they talk about when you eat turkey at Thanksgiving. It makes you sleepy or
Yeah,
whatever.
because
you
it
know,
it makes the production of serotonin.
serotonin,
Yeah.
and which is a regulator of mood, sleep, and behaviors. And so it can help with the mood. It can improve your exercise performance and recovery. May be helpful for wound healing and surgery. And so that there's just a lot to it. Then down the article, they have some suggestions for food sources, and it says foods that contain all 9 essential amino acids are referred to as complete proteins, and the following foods are complete protein sources: meat, seafood,
Poultry, eggs, and dairy products.
right,
Other plant sources of protein, such as beans, nuts, and certain grains, are considered incomplete proteins because they lack one or more of the amino acids.
And that's why I talk about combining certain foods
Yeah.
together and trying to get your whole aminos.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on to the next article.
Okay.
Vitamins and minerals.
Yeah, and we'll kind of skip over this a little bit because
It's quite a bit of information. It's great. It's worth taking a look at the article. It says most people get the nutrients they need eating a varied and balanced diet, but if you choose to take vitamin and mineral supplements, then here's a bunch of information about it. There's fat-soluble vitamins and water-soluble.
Yeah, so the fat-soluble vitamins are A, D, E, and K, and they're mostly found in animal fats, vegetable oils, although I would
caution.
with caution. The only vegetable oil we really use, and it's not a vegetable, it's sesame seed oil.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one that's processed a lot differently. It's one that's been used for years and years before all this vegetable oil from other sources like corn.
Creative, imaginative vegetable oils.
Yeah, stuff that was used in actually production of industrial products and things like that, like ball bearings and things. And like cottonseed oil was used
lubricant
as a lubricant, and then switched over in the 50s, I think, using it to a cheap form of oil that you can use for cooking. Really not. I mean, we don't eat cotton seeds.
No,
we don't eat cotton either.
No. Dairy, liver, and oily fish. And water-soluble vitamins are C, all the B vitamins and folic acid. And it says that they're found in fruit and vegetables, grains, and milk and dairy.
Yeah, now milk and dairy is really something that you can get year-round. And there's a lot of cultures that
it's always in season.
Yeah, it's always in season. Fruits, vegetables, and grains, however, are only available certain times of the year, unless, of course,
unless it's 2025, and then it's coming in from all over the world.
Yeah, and then you got to figure that these things first aren't fresh. Even if you fly them over, they're not fresh.
They're not
fresh, I consider 1 or 2 days.
And the longer they're away from being picked or processed or
and these days, most of these things are really high carb and more refined, and so we don't use much of them at all. So
it says minerals, including calcium and iron, are found in meat, cereals, which we don't recommend it because of for a lot of reasons, and we've talked about it before.
Yeah.
Fish, milk and dairy foods, fruit and vegetables, and nuts.
Yeah, minerals are necessary for 3 main reasons: building strong bones and teeth, controlling body fluids inside and outside the cells, and turning the food you need into energy. You eat, yeah.
And then they have trace elements, which are essential nutrients your body needs to work properly, but come in much smaller amounts than vitamins and minerals, and those include iodine and fluorine. Yeah,
trace amounts are found in small amounts of variety of foods such as meat, fish, cereals, milk, and dairy foods, vegetables, and nuts again.
And you got your fats, and we've talked a lot about fats, saturated, trans fat.
It's funny because here it says that fat is essential to a healthy diet, and of course we've been on a low fat kick for many, many decades.
Well, we meaning the United States of America,
as a society,
since the 50s, right?
Seems like,
and we covered that in the past show. So search that out if you're interested in reviewing.
Yeah, 2 kinds of fat: unsaturated and saturated and trans.
I think we can skip that.
Yeah, the saturated fats are the ones that really help you, and those are the ones found in oily fish and avocados, seeds, and nuts. Funny they don't mention meat here because that's a real prime source of meat.
Of good fat.
Good fat. Saturated fat has been linked to, they say, developing heart disease. I really think it's more a product of, and we listened to an interesting podcast last night talking about the carbohydrates, sucrose, and the fact that we're eating so much of these carbohydrates, and it elevates our blood sugar.
The glucose.
And then the problem is, of course, is that you have the natural body fluids coming in trying to save your life. And so all of a sudden now you have, what's it? Help me out here.
Begins with an A. I don't remember the word.
No, the thing that takes the sugar down.
Oh, insulin.
Insulin. Yeah,
Mhm.
thank you very much.
Mhm.
So insulin comes in and kind of brings the sugar down. But as you eat more and more of the processed foods, your insulin is going to spike higher and higher. They should be really measuring the insulin.
Not the
Because-
amount of sugar.
and the, not the amount of sugar, although that's important too.
Right.
Because if insulin is constantly high, sooner or later it's not going to be effective.
That's what
And
you
the other
call
thing,
insulin resistance.
yeah, that's called insulin resistance. But the other thing that happens is that the insulin causes really stress on the whole system,
Yeah.
your heart, your blood pressure, and everything
Mhm.
like that.
Well, it's only intended to be in a very short-term use to help regulate the sugar as it comes into your system, and
Yes.
then it dissipates.
And if you're just measuring the sugar in your blood, you're not really attacking the problem because your insulin is keeping that sugar down. So you may still be having a real problem because of what you're eating,
Mhm.
but it doesn't show in the sugar because insulin is really high. So that keeps the
Yeah, but
sucrose down.
eventually,
Eventually, it's going to cause
it
lots and lots
causes
of
lots
problems.
of problems.
Exactly.
Mhm. Let's go on to sugar. Well, sugar, we just talked about sugar. It's
And they call it free sugars.
free
I think you
sugars.
should just look at this stuff yourself, and I think we should just go on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't want to go into.
And it's got salt. It talks about salt, and it talks about fiber, and it talks about the fat soluble vitamins, and in greater detail.
Yeah.
And the water soluble vitamins.
Yeah.
So it's a good resource. I mean, we don't eat vegetables, fruits, and nuts
Not
on any kind of regular basis.
not as a base for a meal.
Mhm.
No, we
Mhm.
pretty much stick to the protein sources of animal or fish, and some dairy, things
Right.
like that.
Mhm.
We do take some supplements, and here's a few of them that we take, and we take these basically as a link to life expectancy,
Boosting
getting
immune system,
yeah,
longevity.
longevity,
Mhm.
anti-aging, all these
Mhm.
terms that are
Right.
kind of prevalent these days. And the first one is NAC, called NAC.
N-acetylcysteine.
Yeah, which is a supplement, a form of cysteine, a conditionally essential amino acid. And NAC has many health benefits, including replenishing antioxidants and nourishing your brain.
Yeah, and it's considered conditionally essential because your body can produce it from the other amino acids. It becomes essential when the dietary intake of methionine and serine are low.
Yes, cysteine is found in mostly high protein foods such as chicken, turkey, yogurt, cheese, eggs, sunflower seeds, and legumes, also naturally meat.
Yes, consuming adequate cysteine and NAC is important for various health reasons, including replenishing the most potent antioxidant in your body, which is glutathione. These amino acids also help with chronic respiratory conditions, fertility, and brain health.
Yeah, and NAC is valued primarily for its role in antioxidant production, along with two other amino acids, glutamine and glycine. NAC is necessary to make and replenish glutathione.
Glutathione is one of your body's most important antioxidants. An antioxidant is a compound that helps neutralize free radicals that can damage cells and tissues.
Yeah, antioxidants help supply the body's natural immune system and toxin elimination processes. Research also suggests that antioxidant intake can reduce the risks of several chronic conditions, including cardiovascular disease. And also, they're doing a lot of things with cancer and things like that.
Yeah, so
because what it does really is it helps remove a lot of toxins from your body because of the glutathione.
So NAC helps detoxify your body and can treat, this is important, can treat acetaminophen overdose. Yeah. Very interesting.
So NAC helps regulate glutathione levels, the brain's
Glutamate.
Glutamate levels, the brain's most important neurotransmitter. While glutamate is required for regular brain activity, excessive glutamate and glutathione depletion can cause brain damage. So that's why it's so important.
So they're investigating and researching how much that the NAC helps to contribute to mental how NAC can contribute to mental health conditions such as bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, obsessive compulsive disorder, and substance use disorder, which is very interesting.
Yes. So for people with bipolar disorder and depression, NAC can help decrease symptoms and improve the quality of life. Moreover, research suggests that may play a role in treating moderate to severe OCD.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see these are a lot of the modern problems that we have.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And let's see what else we have here. NAC can relieve symptoms of respiratory conditions by acting as an antioxidant and expectorant, loosening the mucus in your air passageway. So then if I go to the summary on that, it says NAC's antioxidant and expectorant capacity can improve lung function by decreasing inflammation and breaking up mucus. Yeah, and of course, the ability of NAC to replenish glutathione and regulate brain glutamate levels can boost brain health.
A lot of summaries in here. Can also help improve fertility in men.
Yeah, and that's an interesting, that was very interesting. It said NAC may help improve fertility in men by reducing the oxidative stress that damages or kills reproductive cells. May also aid fertility in women who have reproductive problems.
Yeah, by decreasing inflammation in fat tissue, NAC may reduce insulin resistance and improve blood sugar regulation.
They're still working on that.
They're still working on that. There's another summary here that NAC can reduce oxidative damage to your heart, which can in turn decrease the risk of heart disease.
And then NAC's ability to boost glutathione levels may improve immune function.
Yeah.
So
there's no recommendation for how much you take. We take a form which we take 3 times a day, and we've been taking it for.
And who is the doctor that was spending so much time with this?
I don't know. You're thinking of Malone?
We had done a lot of research before we started taking it on dosage and stuff.
That was the NMN that we're going to talk about next.
MN?
Yeah, NMN. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so this is really good stuff.
Yeah.
And I recommend people definitely look into this.
It says for your body to make the amino acid cysteine, you need adequate amounts of folate, B6, and B12. And these nutrients can be found in beans, lentils, spinach, bananas, salmon, and tuna. And most protein-rich fruits, such as chicken, turkey, yogurt, cheese, eggs, sunflower seeds, and legumes, contain cysteine. And some people supplement with NAC in order to increase their cysteine.
Yeah. So these things that we're talking about, the NAC, the next one that we're talking about is NMN, and the one after that will be methylene blue. And these things we've been taking for quite a few years with really good results. And that's why we're bringing this up in kind of this form. We take other things, other vitamins and minerals as a supplement also, but these are the main things that are for anti-aging and just combating some of the things that are in our environment and in our food and in our water, just to make sure that we're getting the best possible thing. And most of them are inexpensive. The next one we're talking about, NMN, is not that cheap, depending on the dosage you take. And they recommend a full dose of this is 4 capsules of the form that we take. But and that runs about $100 a month, I think, something like that. So it's not the cheapest thing, but we really like it. And
well, let's tell them about it. So,
yeah.
And it says, this is interesting, although who knows? It's the World Health Organization. So in June of 2018, the World Health Organization released its 11th edition of the International Classification of Diseases, and they added aging. Aging as a disease.
Yeah, that's well, the way it's going.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. It's become a whole syndrome.
Yeah. Across the kingdom of life, an increased an increase in intracellular level of NAD plus triggers shifts that enhance survival, including boosting energy production and upregulating cellular repair.
So
In fact,
the slow inevitable process of aging has been described as a cascade of robustness breakdown triggered by a decrease in systematic NAD plus biosynthesis and the resultant functional defects in susceptible organs and tissues.
Aging is marked by the epigenetic shifts, a genomic instability, altered nutrient sensibility, telomere attrition, and mitochondrial dysfunction, cellular
senescence, which is death of cells,
right, and stem cell exhaustion and dysregulation intercellular communication. So
dysregulated, there's a new word for
this is what this is what they're calling aging. Basically, your body is breaking down in all its different forms of all the fluids.
It's losing its vitality. It's losing its ability to repair itself. It's losing its ability to replicate itself.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we see wrinkles on the outside. Mm-hmm. We don't see them on the inside, but of course, that's what's happening on the inside too.
Yeah. So
by middle age, our NAD levels have plummeted to half of that of our youth. So middle age, they consider 40 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I don't think anymore that middle age is 40.
Well, if you consider it's right now, the life expectancy in mid-70s.
No, well, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. If you count 122, which was mentioned in the first article, then you can say that middle age is going to be 75.
Right.
That's a lot better.
Well, 65.
65. Yeah. Something like
that. It says taken orally, NMN is rapidly absorbed and converted to NAD plus. In numerous studies, supplementation with NMN has increased NAD plus biosynthesis, suppressed age-related adipose tissue inflammation. Adipose tissue is fat, right? Yeah. Enhanced insulin secretion and insulin action, improved mitochondrial function, improved neuronal function, that's the neurons in your brain, and more.
Yeah, well, we skipped that first article. By middle age, or NAD plus is going down. NAD plus is the precursor, or the NMN is the precursor. So when you take NMN, it converts to NAD plus.
Right.
So
it's important.
That's the important part of it. And this has been done by, was it Dr. I think he's mentioned in here.
This is a biologist, Shinichiro Imai.
Yeah, but was it Dr. Malone or was it just anyway, we'll get to that part. So pathways to MNN in the body. So some people are taking the NAD plus. We opted to take the NMN, which is the precursor. So we weren't really sure whether, and when we took NAD plus, it would be destroyed by the chemicals in our stomach.
Right.
And intestines.
So we chose to support the natural creation of NAD plus.
Yeah.
It says a veritable symphony of interlocking transformations allows NAD plus to be both synthesized and regulated in the body.
It is well known that B3, vitamin B3, is a building block of the NA.
Yeah, and by the way, NAD stands for nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide.
Yeah, it is also widely recognized that the NMN is the potent precursor for NAD plus. So through NMN is naturally found in small amounts in fruits and vegetables such as avocados, broccoli, cabbage, edamame, and cucumbers. In animals, most NMN is synthesized. In mammals. NMN is synthesized from B3 in the form of
nicotinamide.
Yeah. And then there's a lot more information in here.
Yeah, there's evidence for anti-aging and health-enhancing effects of NMN, which you can read in the article. And it's a they call it, it's clearly a fountain of youth, it says here. But what about in humans? The researchers say that NMN may improve adult human metabolism, rendering it more like someone of 10 or 20 years younger. And now they're studying NMN more extensively. David Sinclair.
Yeah, his team is now studying
Harvard.
humans. So David Sinclair from Harvard, noted anti-aging researcher, and this is where we got our information from, whose research on resveratrol, which we take in conjunction with.
We take resveratrol.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he is taking NMN himself, and he has said his lipid profile has improved dramatically, and he feels more energetic, and that his blood markers at age 60 years old are close to that of a 31-year-old.
Yeah. So we found, nothing beats getting up in the morning, feeling good, and having no aches and pains, just generally being able to carry on whatever we feel like doing. If we want to do something physically strenuous, or if we want just working or writing or whatever we want to do, jujitsu, and just having that complete feeling of comfort. And right now I'm just feeling so relaxed and comfortable, and nothing hurts. And I am close to 79 years old.
Yep.
And you're 80 plus.
Yep.
So I mean, it really, for us, it's been wonderful. The combinations.
Yeah, we've been taking this about a decade now.
Yeah, it's really,
So
really
one of the most recent additions is the methylene blue dye.
Yeah, and we've talked about this at length before, but it bears repeating because we've just had such good results.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things, going through menopause, for those of us who have no choice in the matter, there are mood fluctuations, there are depressions, there's anxiety, there's so much that goes on in your body when those hormones are raging or not raging. And I have been experimenting, I guess, with various combinations of natural products to control that,
right,
and had very good success. And then one of the benefits of methylene blue is that it helps so much with your mood and evening it out and addressing depression or anxiety.
Feeling happy.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
So let's go some of the history of this. A German chemist named Heinrich Cairo first prepared methylene blue in the year of 1876.
This is nothing new. This is been around.
It was originally synthesized as a dye.
Aniline-based dye.
Blue jeans, basically.
Yeah, for the textile industry.
Yeah. But scientists such as Robert Koch and Paul
Ehrlich
has realized that it also has potential for use in
microscopy stains.
Yes, that's where they first did it.
Yeah, they were using that. And then methylene blue was also used for treating malaria in Africa. But this treatment then disappeared after chloroquine and other drugs entered the market.
This compound was also previously used to treat urinary tracts infections and
cyanide poisoning. There you go. I don't know how often that comes up, but
right. The methylene blue is also under clinical trial phase for its potential effectiveness in treating patients with Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah, as a dye, it's used as a staining agent for performing surgeries in diagnostics and also for general microscopy, meaning that using a microscope. Okay, let's see what else we got in here. It's a U.S. FDA approved treatment for acquired methemoglobinemia. And we had talked about that previously. It also acts as an antidote for cyanide and ifosfamide poisoning. It's been researched for anti-malarial and, just to repeat, anti-malarial and anti-Alzheimer conditions. It's also a popular antifungal and antiparasitic treatment and is used in aquaculture to prevent the growth of bacteria in the water. And we don't need to go to that. And there's more discussion about the actual. It's also used for septic shock. Septic shock is a big problem during and after surgeries,
Yeah.
apparently these days, and it takes place when organs are injured or damaged due to infection, resulting in dangerously low blood pressure, cellular metabolic problems, and in severe conditions, it causes multiple organ failures. And methylene blue has been effective in treating this condition.
Yeah, it's been used mostly in adults, although it seems to be effective in children.
Yeah.
It works by inhibiting the nitric oxide
Cyclic guanosine monophosphate pathway.
which is active during septic shock. So methylene blue is effective in the instances where conventional medicines have failed. Now, there's a lot of research going on now for all kinds of different things.
Yeah.
What's this vasoplagia is also
Vasoplegia.
plegia is a common consequence following cardiopulmonary bypass. In such circumstances, methylene blue may be an appealing therapeutic option. It appears to be effective treatment for that.
Following the bypass in a majority of the patients with no apparent adverse effect.
Yeah,
And it
Alzheimer's.
talks again about Alzheimer's, malaria, bipolar disorder, cancer.
Lots of stuff. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Coronavirus, anti-aging benefits.
Yeah.
The classic antioxidant methylene blue, which targets the mitochondria, is helpful for all areas of cellular health, but particularly for the anti-aging effects it has on the skin. It has been discovered that methylene blue can increase cellular longevity, boost cell proliferation, and lower biomarkers of physiological aging in skin cells. Moreover, as a result of the antioxidant or free radical scavenging effects that it possesses, it is able to effectively treat signs of skin aging, such as wrinkles and pigmentation, and it also stimulates the body's natural ability to repair wounds.
Yeah, and the
That's
other one
pretty
before that,
interesting.
according to doctors, methylene blue is a centuries-old blood pressure enhancer and is usually prescribed when a patient's oxygen saturation levels drop.
And then it also mentions, among a whole lot of other things, that methylene blue is a disinfectant because it has an antibacterial and antiparasitic activity on bacteria and other parasites. And so that's interesting to know.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really, we've had no side effects whatsoever. You have to adjust your dose, and we started
Yeah.
with 5 drops. And,
Yeah, 5 drops is usually the starting point, and you should do no more than 1 drop per 10 pounds of body weight. So I weigh about 165, usually 168. I'm taking 15 drops pretty steadily now. You can kind of regulate it up and down.
Depending on how you feel.
Yeah.
You know.
If you feel a little, you can kind of tell if you're taking too much. You can feel a little bit more, I don't know.
You just
what it
don't
is.
feel completely comfortable.
Yeah, you
So
feel
just
on edge.
drop back a little bit.
Yeah, you can just drop back. But I suggest for the first month or so, just using 5 drops. And at that point, if you don't feel any boost, then you can kind of just up a couple of drops a day until you get to
Maximum.
It took me about a year to get up to the 15 drops. And now I've been taking 15 drops pretty steady for months.
Yeah,
So once in a while, I'll drop down to 5 or 6 or 8,
Mhm.
and you can even skip it. I have some of my people that I do jujitsu with, and they'll drop it for a couple of weeks and then go back onto it, saying how it really enhances their mood.
And
So-
it also helps with recovery
Very much so.
and repair.
I really feel the difference in the recovery part, but I do also with the amino acids, the complete aminos.
Right.
That makes a huge difference to me. The NAC makes a huge difference to me. So all these things do help. So,
And it's one thing that
and they're natural products. So
one caveat is if you are on any SSRIs or serotonin boosting medication, do
Okay.
not take
Yeah.
methylene blue.
but you can get off those medications
Right.
and use this and see if this works better,
Right.
which a lot of people have done and been pretty successful at.
And there's a lot more information in the articles. And so we encourage you to take a look at these articles. We just hit the high points.
Yeah, and this is stuff we're taking. Doesn't mean you have to take it.
Right.
Do your own research. We found benefits from all these things. Some people are reluctant in taking some things, especially methylene blue. because there's
Oh, it does turn your pee green.
yeah, when
Blue
you-
and yellow makes green.
yeah, so that's why I know I'm at a pretty good level when I see that.
Right.
So I know it's going through my body. And if you like when I was on 5 doses, 5
5
drops,
drops.
then it wasn't turning it anymore. I go, so I
Up to a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, take it for what it's worth. Check it out, and it's helped us a lot. So that's why we're talking about it. And we appreciate you being here. And thanks a lot.
Be well.
Bye bye now.